What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Born2BNerd Podcast. I'm Lance.
I'm Ethan.
And I had a fun idea for today. I felt like we could benefit from having another free-form conversation because I was inspired by a TikTok that I saw. It's been a few weeks ago now. And I thought we could have a discussion, that sounds professional, a conversation about entertainment that we consume now and how it compares to the way we consumed it in the 90s, so to speak, when we were kids, maybe even early 2000s. But because I didn't think about how different it is until I thought about this question that was asked. So you want to hear the question?
Yeah.
Okay, so the question was, it was this, I don't know what gen he was. He's a younger guy. And he was like, I have a question for millennials. He said, whenever a new album comes out, I know about it, right? There's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's, Spotify or whatever that shows when a new album is released or whatever. I can follow artists and stuff like that. How did y'all know a new album was going to come out in the 90s? Was it like the first time you heard a new song, was it on the radio? Like, how did you know to look for it? Where did you find it? How did you, like, were you surprised whenever an artist released a new song kind of thing? And so it got me thinking. But I want to hear your response from hearing that question.
I mean, for as far as music goes, yeah, for me it would be like they put out a single off the record, the first single on the radio, and odds are that's the first time you hear it, or I'd see it on VH1, like in like the early 2000s.
Yeah, MTV.
In the morning. So back in the day, they would have, I didn't watch a lot of MTV, but VH1
I didn't have
Fuse.
MTV.
Yeah, so we had DirecTV for a little bit, and VH1 and Fuse. In the mornings, they would do video. Fuse at the time did videos forever, right? That's all that channel was that. But VH1 had from like 6 a.m. until like 8 a.m., maybe after that, maybe to like 9 a.m. was nothing but music videos. So usually I'd come downstairs, flip on the TV as I'm like doing whatever before we left, and that's what I would see, and that's where I would, see it. Or they would do like Saturday morning countdowns shows that VH1 did, which was like basically a top 40 countdown of whatever new came out.
Yeah, I remember those types of shows.
Yeah, that was kind of how I would get like my new music, or like randomly sometimes somebody would bring like a whatever magazine to school, and you'd see like they'd have like these little articles in it of like new selected bands, and you're like, oh, that's cool, or be like, oh, I've heard of this band. Like, I didn't know that, like, they had 2 albums. Like, that's crazy. So that's kind of how, like, I did it. But usually it would be, like, the radio. Like,
yeah.
Like, they used, I don't know, I mean, I haven't listened to the radio in forever, but used to, they would do, like, what would they call them? Like, smash or trash, I think is what they would be called. So they'd, like, play a new song. Like, this is, like, the new song from fucking Hoobastank or whatever, and they'd be like smash or trash, and then people would call in and they'd say whether it was a good song and keep playing it, or whether it was shit and get it out of here. That was kind of one way, but I mean that's very secular stuff. That's very top 40 in whatever genre music you're doing. But that's kind of how like I remember it anyway.
Yeah, I try to remember like how especially when I was old enough to kind of follow a group, which would have been in high school. Because in the 90s, it was just radio. I mean, yeah, the only music I listened to was on the radio in the 90s, I think I got my first CD. might have been for my 10th birthday, and I got Now That's What I Call Music.
14.
I think it was 13 because
I got
I'm older
14.
than you.
Yeah.
I'm older than you.
That's
So
funny.
I think it was Now That's What I Call Music 13.
Yeah.
And that was like I think it was 13 that had like the Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, Christina
I think that's
Aguilera,
a little bit older.
98 Degrees.
That's definitely a little bit older. Yeah,
You
yeah,
think?
yeah. Yeah, because the one that I had was 14 and it had like Stacy's mom. It had
Oh, okay.
it had like Chingy and
Maybe it was
Justin
Now That's What I Call
Timberlake.
Music 8 then or something like
Yeah,
that.
because JT had already been like went solo. He was
Oh,
out of
no.
NSYNC. Yeah.
Yeah, no. It was so it might have been even then. God, this just shows how old I am. It might have been like Now That's What I Call Music 8 then.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was one of the older one or the earlier ones for sure. But that was my first CD, and that's how I just listened to that CD on repeat for the longest time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I got when the year 2000 came out, I got Backstreet Boys' new CD.
Millennium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, dude. So I had the classic kind of like, it was like the size of a football little mini CD player
Yeah.
with the two speakers that look like an
Yeah.
egghead
Look
or
like an
a
egg.
bug head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
That's what I had. And I remember putting that on in my room.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Nothing hit that song when me and my brother are like, ah! When that song hit, dude.
You want to know something crazy? I don't know if we've talked about it before, but my first concert ever was Backstreet Boys.
Really?
The Millennium Tour. That was my first concert ever. I went with my buddy Dylan Patram and his mom and his brother Drake, and because like she was like the young cool mom, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember how old I was. I guess I was born in 91, and that would have been 99 or 2000. So I was like 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember anything about the concert other than that when they came out, they came like down from the rafters on like hoverboards. They were like in like space suits, like their whatever space suits, and they were on like hoverboards, like coming down. And I was like, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen. Oh man, it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
That I can remember. Anyway, that's so funny. But
yeah, it's crazy.
I remember like, so I don't remember my first CD that I got. I'm trying to think. I remember the Eminem show was one of my first CDs because I stole it from my brother. It was he had a Toyota Tacoma, and he had like a little CD book in there, you know, that he kept. And it was back when he lived with us. And I would have been like 11 or 12. I don't remember. And he had a copy of the Eminem show in there. And I had ridden with him before, and I had heard, and all I knew of Eminem was Slim Shady. Like I didn't even know the full LP, that it was like a full album or anything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But 8 Mile was getting ready to come out, and I was like, oh, this is really, really cool. And I knew my brother had an Eminem CD in his car, and so I went in there and I fucking stole it, and I brought it up to my room because I had his hand-me-down like boombox system, which was like the triple tree. It was like speaker, like 2 separate speakers, and then a center stack with like the thick center stack, which had like a two or three CD changer, a cassette player, and a radio, like all in one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I had like inherited him. So like I would take that CD and then put it in there, or have my little Walkman Walmart CD player that I walk around with, my little headphones, listening to fucking Eminem show.
Yeah.
That was one of the first records that I ever had. And then I remember one of the first records that I got that like was like bought, I guess. I didn't buy it. My aunt bought them for me. But I really wanted Now 14 because it had Fountains of Wayne. It had oh God, what was the whole song list on? It was crazy. It had a bunch. It had Beyonce's. What was the first Beyonce hit that her and Jay-Z did? Whatever the fuck that was. It had a bunch of stuff on there. I wanted that, and I wanted American Idiot, like really, really bad. And my aunt Patty, who was like the cool aunt, she like came and like basically got it for me for Christmas. And she gave me like the Now 14 as a present, like in front of everyone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And as like we're like kind of wrapping up Christmas or whatever, or like later when we're not exchanging gifts, she came up to me and she gave me another present, which was American Idiot. And she was like, "Don't tell your mom that I got you this because it's parental advisory." And I was just like, "You're the coolest thing ever." But those are like two of the first CDs that I remember. And then later on, but even though she gave that to me, it was still like the edited version of it. I think looking back, I think it was more because it was like a fuck you to the Bush administration, that whole album, and my parents were super Republican. But it was like the edited version, you know.
Yeah.
And then later on, I just got my buddy Kyle to download it for me for off of like LimeWire or something.
Wow.
Yeah, but
yeah, man, and think about that too, about living through a time where that's what you would get for Christmas and birthdays was CDs. Yeah, that's crazy. Same with like DVDs, but I felt like I don't remember getting as many like movies. I feel like movies weren't really given as gifts as much. At least I don't remember getting movies as much as like CDs.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did, just because I was a huge TV kid. Like if you plop me down in front of a TV, I would just sit there and just
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And it's the same with movies. Like I would just like, I think we've talked about it before. Like we had a big old van, you know, a big old T-top van with a TV in the top with a VHS player. And so I just have movies, you know, playing because we had like a 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
Back and forth between home and school or home and work and whatever. So that was how my parents got me to shut up. They just put a
TV in your car.
TV in our car, yeah, in the van. It was a big old turtle top van, dude.
I didn't have that growing up.
Oh, dude, it was. What are you doing back there? Yeah, it was just a big old turtle top van. Like it was like a van with like an extended roof that looked like it was green. It looked like a big old turtle. That's what we call it, turtle top. But it had an old like 10-inch TV in it or something up there, and a VHS player.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I just like watch movies, and so I always ask for movies because I love watching movies all the time.
I mean, I feel like we got movies, but I don't remember. I can't visualize receiving movies for like Christmas or birthdays.
Yeah,
I don't know. I remember getting CDs though because I had been asking for them and stuff.
Yeah. I remember like two Christmases in particular where I got two movies that I asked for, which is wild. The movie, because I remember one year all I wanted was Tombstone and George of the Jungle. Those are the two movies that I want, and I was young. I was like 7, 8, and like Tombstone's pretty fucking violent. Yeah. It's rated R. But I mean, it's a Western. And I remember I got it when we went to visit my dad's family down in Texas that year for Christmas. And I got it that Christmas, and it helped seal the deal on like Santa Claus was real for like another year or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I was like, I went to bed the night before and I was like, there's no presents here. Like, you know. And then I woke up the next morning and we were how many states away, and I had presents, and like I helped pack the car, so I knew there weren't any presents in our car.
Yeah, it's pretty sly.
Oh, dude, they fooled me for like another couple years. But there was that one, and then there was the year that I got Elf and the Chronicles of Riddick. I remember getting those two the same year. I don't know. I was my taste was all over the place, dude.
Riddick, dude.
Dude, the first two are
Pitch
rad.
Black.
Dude, Pitch Black was fucking sick. I don't care. I will die on this.
I just remember Vin Diesel. Isn't that the same movie where Vin Diesel grabs the pipe through the girl's legs and lifts her up?
Yeah, that's the second movie. Yeah, that's the Chronicles of Riddick. Yeah, is it? I think that's Riddick.
I think it is. I think it is. I think it's because that's when like Vin Diesel makes his second appearance, and you're like, oh, he's back.
Yeah,
he's back.
Still had the goggles. I wanted those goggles so bad. They were so sick.
Such a different time, man. Such a different time. That was see, I think maybe I was thinking about it. I think maybe my memories of getting those things are different because I was in such a Pokemon craze, like through the mid 90s to early 2000s. That's all I remember. All the Pokemon stuff I got. I remember my 11th birthday. My mom and her husband then had gone to McDonald's like multiple times a week for months during the Pokemon McDonald's Happy Meal event.
Burger King.
Burger King was a Burger King.
Burger King. Yeah.
Whether you got the card and the little toy.
Burger King.
Yeah. I know you know. And we got this big bin. It was like a plastic bin full of all of those things.
Yeah.
That was a big event for me. And then they gave them away.
Yeah.
They gave them away. They're like, "Oh, you're too old for these."
God, that hurts.
Are you serious?
Woo,
Are you
that
serious?
hurts.
I remember feeling really upset, but like, what are you gonna? Can't tell your parents no.
Yeah.
Can't tell your parents no. If they tell you you're too old for something, you're too old for it.
Yeah. I remember. I mean, I am like lucky in that regard, in that my mom is like a legit hoarder.
Yeah.
And so she's got all of my toys and everything from when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Including like the bulk of my Pokemon stuff. I went back years ago and got some of it, like my cards from when I was a kid, and I got some of the toys. I should have gotten all of them. I don't know why I didn't get all of them. And then I got the Burger King Pokeball
cards.
gold cards. Yeah, these guys right here. I got my whole collection of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Still have those, but yeah, Burger King was a shit, and I lucked out because my mom was a manager at one of the Burger Kings where we live. So
yeah,
if she knew, the thing that was funny was that if she knew that one didn't have, like, if I was like, "Mom, I really want like the Poliwhirl, the Togepi one," and knew they didn't have it there, she would literally call to the other Burger King. And like, we'd run up the road to the other Burger King, and she'd be like, "Hey, I'm a manager," and blah 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 blah. And I was like, "My mom's the coolest person ever."
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember getting the first Mewtwo Strikes Back VHS that came with the promo card. I still have my promo card. That was a big thing. I didn't tell my brother there was a promo card in there. I was like, "We got it," and I opened it in the room by myself. I was like, "Oh, it's a promo card. That's mine. That's mine."
Was it a Mew? Is it a Mew?
The first one was the Pikachu in the forest.
I don't even remember that.
The one that I got. Oh no! It was the Mewtwo. It was a Mewtwo.
Which one was the Mew?
Here, the Ancient Mew.
No, not the Ancient Mew. That's off of Pokemon 2000, right?
Yeah.
No, it was another Mew. It was like, I don't even think it was holographic, but it had like a stamp on it.
Yeah, that's the one that has the Electabuzz with the stamp, the Dragonite with the stamp. You're talking about the stamp series?
Yeah.
I don't know where they're from. I'm not sure.
Okay, because I had the Mew, but I don't remember the what was the Mewtwo? Or no, you said it was a Pikachu.
I can't remember. No, man, I don't remember. The Pikachu might have been from something else. The card from the Mewtwo Strikes Back movie was the Mewtwo though. And I'm trying to remember where I have him stored.
Oh, yeah. I do remember this one. Yeah. I remember that.
Are you looking at the Mewtwo?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But I remember that crazy looking one too. That's the coast, yeah. The movie promo. Yeah, I do remember that. God, that's so sick.
Yeah. I haven't. It's in a box, I think.
I don't know that I do have that one, if I'm being honest. Do I? I remember the Mew. Where did the Mew come from?
But yeah, so
sorry.
It's just a crazy concept to think about how much, because we still like the same stuff basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And even if it's not like the super niche nerd culture like Pokemon, even like we still listen to music, we still watch movies, you know, but that question that guy asked just kind of put it into perspective how different, you know? Like I remember in Walmart seeing the shelf
Oh yeah.
with all like just covered in new Fall Out Boy CDs.
Uh-huh.
And maybe some records, maybe. I don't remember if records were popular then because that was like it was a
Yeah.
little too
Everything
phased
was
out.
yeah. Everything was CD at that
CD,
point.
yeah. Yeah. But it might have been like regular CDs and deluxe edition or something like that. I don't remember. But something like that, you know, it's just a full shelf of Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
And I remember getting that CD. But yeah, it's just and then now, you know, thinking about how much has changed, it's just like just having everything digitized.
It's funny because like vinyl specifically in the past like 10 years has made a huge comeback, right?
Mm-hmm.
As like a fuck you to the digital market, I
Yeah.
think, more than anything. I mean, I guess with nostalgia as well, but as an answer to the digital medium, vinyl's made a comeback. But I didn't grow up collecting vinyl. Like my mom wasn't collecting vinyl when I was
No.
a kid. You know, I mean, she had her vinyls from when she was a kid, but she wasn't actively buying it.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, going forward, because we've seen like kind of the whole, like, well, not the whole thing, but you know, cassettes through now, and
Mm-hmm.
then going back to vinyl.
Yeah.
8-tracks will never make a comeback because those things are dog shit. But you know, we've seen like a huge shift all the way through, right? I wonder, and it's happening now with cassettes. I've noticed like cassettes are becoming like in vogue to get again. But I wonder, but the kids who have them now never had them as kids.
Right.
So where does the appreciation come from? I mean, I guess maybe the same place that we had with
I don't think it is
for
appreciation. I think it's more stylized.
like, so it's a status.
I think it's a fashion.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
like a status of like being of being chic, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there are new generations that are dressing in vintage '90s clothing, and you're like, you weren't alive in the '90s.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But it's just how that stuff happens. You know. Like
You know what's funny though? I think like
it's
think
like
about
bell
like
bottoms when we were in high school. We
sure.
weren't alive in the '70s, but
No,
we
but
rocked some bell bottoms though.
we walked low rise, yeah, not the high rise shit where you could hide everything either. Like the low rise bell bottom where your ass is showing every time you fucking bend over.
Yeah.
What was the cheek cleavage?
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing back in the day. But like I wonder like the way that we're nostalgic now for like a medium that's totally gone, which is like LimeWire, right?
Oh yeah.
That whole era is like totally gone. But we have such a nostalgia for it in our minds, like of how many computers we gave AIDS back in the day. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. To the point where we were talking the other day about like it was so funny. So many of us knew the same, like everyone was just sharing the same download back then. So everybody would have like the When You Were Young song, but it would be like it would start with K Rock, you know, because it was ripped from somebody listening to freaking K Rock and then uploading this shit
Mm-hmm.
on LimeWire. But it's like we're nostalgic for that. But do you think that kids are going to be nostalgic for like Spotify in 20 years? Like, God, do you remember when we used to get like the year wrapped every year for our Spotify playlist?
You know,
Like,
I don't.
do you think that's going to happen?
Yes, what you're saying, unless that doesn't change, because I think Spotify might be dying, with like the all the controversy.
Yeah.
But I don't see
The
like
emotional pull to it.
no. I don't see the technology changing. I mean, I can't. That's how every generation's been.
Mm.
But as far as like a digital streaming service, that's as hands off as you can get,
Yeah.
to where I don't see where it could go to where there would be a nostalgia for it,
The thing about that's weird with that is that like you don't own anything with Spotify.
Mm-hmm. True.
There's nothing that you own.
Yeah.
Whereas like
Like
even when
Apple,
people, yeah,
iTunes,
iTunes, even
you
with
bought the
iTunes, you
songs.
bought the songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and then you downloaded them onto your iPod. We went on a road trip to pick up the new dog about a month ago, however long it was. And for the road trip, I was going through my bedside table. I don't know what I was looking for, like chapstick or something. I don't remember. And I found my old Nano, my
Yeah.
iPod Nano, and I was like, dude, oh my god. So I told Shelby, I was like, we're gonna take my Nano and we're gonna literally unplug for a while, and we're gonna just listen to like my old playlist, right? And dude, it was like such a nostalgia hit of songs that I've not even thought about, because some of them like they're not even named, like they're
Mm-hmm.
just like untitled track 27. You know what I mean? And because they were just straight from LimeWire or FrostWire, wherever the fuck I got them.
Yeah.
And they're all like they're all different quality. That's the funny thing about it, is that like, you know, like some of them we have to crank the radio up to hear it because the rip itself was such shit quality.
Yeah.
And then other ones were from when I discovered that, oh, Ethan, you can actually go to the library and rent CDs and rip CDs with CD level quality and put
Yeah.
that on your iPod. So
Yeah.
that was this huge change in quality. But some of the songs on it, man, I was just like, oh my God.
That's such a good feeling.
Oh.
I recently found a band on Spotify that was a very niche band that I listened, because when I was in high school, I was crazy about, and you know, my social circle did this to me. My social circle was really music focused.
Mm-hmm.
My you know, emo scene community,
Yeah.
very music focused, like, as it still is. But they used to do this thing called the band game, where you would just say band names to each other that you know until someone ran out of band names to think of. And it was like, oh, who listens to the most diverse, like the most bands kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that got me wanting to, like, that started my drive to, I need to discover more bands, you know. But then I found out, oh, they're all really good, and I can listen to different types of songs and stuff. And then I kind of just closed myself in around and gatekeeped all of my music.
Yeah.
But what I would do was, there was this music torrent site or whatever, and I would use MySpace, because we got to talk about MySpace too.
Woo,
that played a big role in it.
Man.
Also, I don't know if you're interested, but there's this new website that's just like MySpace, where you can, like, it looks like MySpace. You can customize your home page like MySpace. You can have a top 8.
Basic HTML.
Yeah. If you're interested, I wouldn't mind just joining that, just to have like a new, like, little social media kind of MySpace thing. But anyways, that's beside the point. So I used to go to bands' pages, right? And then I would go to their top 8 and see what bands that they are, like, you know, talking about. And then I would explore their music, and then go to their top 8 and explore their music. And I still kind of do the same thing on Spotify, right? Where I'll find a band that I like. I'm like, oh, what kind of music do they like? You know, what kind of bands do they tour with or whatever? And that's how I would just go on this rampage of all these bands, and I would, like, make lists, you know?
Yeah.
Of all these bands that I liked. And then I would go to this torrent site, and I would just rip all of it. Just rip all of it. And I had a Zune.
A Zune.
Yeah, I had a Zune.
The alternative to the iPod.
And I had, I don't know, around 5,000 songs on that Zune. Hundreds and hundreds of different bands. And of course, those Zunes notoriously didn't survive very well. You know, they didn't.
Really?
I still have mine, but it won't turn on.
They were like plastic, right? Like they had no metal housing in them.
No, it was like a tin metal housing.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just coated with this, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I remember I had everything organized, you know, like, I loved my Zune. I carried it with me everywhere. I listened to it in school. Teachers didn't bother me. Like, I just listened to music all day because I made good grades. But then one of my friends was like, yo, we recorded a new EP do you want one? I was like, yeah, dude, give me one. And I downloaded it onto my computer, and I uploaded it onto my Zune, and it took every song on my Zune and put it into their EP.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know how it did it, but it took every band, every song that I had up, like, downloaded onto my Zune, and mashed it all into their
into one
EP,
file,
into their EP, under their EP label. So it changed the band name to every band to their band name.
Oh,
yeah,
what?
yeah. And so all those hundreds of bands that I just found by, like, digging in caves and stuff,
Yeah. Gone.
they're all labeled under their name. So, like, I will never ever be able to find who sang that song. I think now you could probably try to Shazam it or whatever.
Shazam it?
Yeah. But can you imagine me spending, that would take weeks of just, like, sitting there like spamming
Wait,
Shazam.
did you say that you still have your Zune?
Yeah.
Dude, you should do that. You should totally do that.
Well, I can't get the Zune to come on right now. Yeah, but I have my Zune program with my list of music downloaded on my laptop, which could come on if I could find a power supply for it. And so my Zune program is still on that. But the reason I brought that up is because I do the same thing on Spotify today, where I go to, like, radio, I'll click a band, go on radio, and explore that, and then I'll find a band in that radio that I like, then I'll go to their radio and explore that.
Is there a setting in Spotify? This is a total side tangent.
That's fine. That's the point of this.
Is there a setting in Spotify where you can change, like, because I loved going to, like, finding a new band in Spotify is like finding, like, specifically, like, my J-rock bands, my J-punk bands. But what I'm finding right now is that everything is, like, just anytime that it sets up a new radio, like, it'll be like Eastern Youth Radio, it's basically just taking artists that I've already found off of, like, my Anime All Day playlist, and it's just using those artists that I already know and I already have, with not only artists that I know, but the songs that I already have saved, to create these, like, new radios. So I'm not discovering anything new. And
right.
I'll be like, it'll pop up with, like, a Tajiro radio, and I'm like, okay, sick. But it's all the same fucking music, and I'm like, is there a setting that you can do to where it's at? Because even my Discover Weekly does that. My fucking Discover Weekly is, like, that's what that's supposed to be for. And even that, it's using artists and songs that I already have saved.
Mine does the same thing. I haven't figured out if there's a way to mess with that at all. I will tell you, there is something that I did learn, though. If you have a playlist that you've made yourself, if you click play and turn off shuffle, it'll play through your playlist, and then it will switch to recommended.
Oh, yeah.
And often that recommended is stuff that I haven't heard before.
Yeah.
And I've been able to find a lot of stuff through that. But that just means that I have to listen to the same playlist that I've listened to 1,000 times to get to that point.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could go to the end of it, because that's like, because, like, my Anime All Day playlist is legit, like, 13 hours long at this point. So, I mean, it's like I have to start at the end.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I haven't done that in a while. Maybe that's something. Or I remember you can change it to, like, if you go to an album, like, if you're listening to a new album, when the album's done, you can switch it with it going into that artist catalog, or going into what you're saying, like a suggested playlist, basically based off of that artist.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, starting the album all over again or whatever. But
yeah. The reason I was bringing that up, kind of exposition to the nostalgia thing, is I found a band, just random band that I used to listen to in those days of, like, deep search. And when I went to that band and went to the recommended at the end of the playlist, it was just like a river of all these bands that I had forgotten about.
Yeah.
And I saved all these songs. I remember I had these burned CDs that we would listen to in my Honda, driving around high school and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was able to create almost a 1-to-1 playlist of, like, all the songs that I remember being on those CDs. And bro, the journey that took me on, man.
Woo. So, so me and my buddy Kyle do this actually. This is something that we used to do. So I've told you we used to take pictures for his mom's real estate company, and that was like our job in high school. We get in his Mini Cooper or my Ford Explorer, and we go do like take pictures of like 2 or 3 houses, right? And then we'd find something whatever we were into. Like if we were in like we were into bowling hardcore for a long time, so we'd map out our stops so that the last house we did was by the bowling alley in the same town as the bowling alley that we like to go to, right? Or when we got into swimming for a while because of the Michael Phelps in the Olympics, so we would go to the Y. We'd make sure that we could. The last stop was by the YMCA, and we go swimming or whatever. But the whole time that we're together, all we ever did was just bop around in his Mini Cooper or my Explorer, listening to the mixtapes that we had made, right?
Right.
And we still have all those mixtapes, and they're all labeled stupid, Super Duper Skate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Petro, whatever, Buzzsaw, whatever. Like it's just all these stupid fucking names. But we've still got all those or I have a lot of them. I don't know what happened to Kyle's, but he has a couple. But whenever we hang out, because I don't get to see him very often because he's back in NC, but whenever we do hang out, we make it a point to at some point we drive somewhere together and we pop in one of those CDs, and it's just like boom. I mean, like the nostalgia hit is fucking crazy because it's the same thing. It's like old stuff. Like some of it's more secular, but some of it's like weird, like songs that like we heard off of like the Grind soundtrack, like Billy Talent or something like that, you know?
Right.
That's super, that we're not going to hear anywhere else other than those CDs that we made. So it's like, it's such a sweet surprise because I can never remember we've made so many of them. I can never remember which ones have what songs on it because we weren't smart and just wrote the song list on it, which we fucking could have done, but we were idiots and didn't do.
And lazy. You just want the music. You don't care about
lazy as fuck.
Yeah.
So each time we put in one, it's kind of a surprise, you know, and it's a sweet little hit. That's like, God damn, the glory days. God. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the difference in today too with modern day listeners, like these new generations, is they don't do what we did back then, you know? Like and what you and I probably still have the tendency to do now, which is try to find new stuff. Is it feels like what's popular is popular. You know? What's known is known. And maybe I'm wrong, but it does feel like Spotify isn't used to like dig for artists the same way we use our platforms to dig for artists.
For sure. Spotify pushes like secular music in whatever genre that we're talking about. It pushes the top of that secular genre the hardest.
Right.
And you really do have to dig to find something other than. Right. Whereas like you were talking about with MySpace, you could go and see somebody's top whatever, like the top on their playlist, like they had their songs, and it was like, holy shit, like I've never heard of that band before. Oh, and then you dig a little deeper, and then like you go to that band's MySpace page, and that band would have their like list of their favorite artists, and it was just like this whole like sharing community thing,
right?
That Spotify doesn't at all. I mean, it does like the years wrapped thing that you post on Instagram or whatever, but like that's kind of it. It has like that fun feature where you can like what's it called, like join playlist or something like that, where like you and somebody else can also hop in and like keep adding songs to a playlist that you're going with, but it's not like the same like at all. It doesn't like inspire you to dig any deeper. Right. I don't think, for me it doesn't anyways. For me, like one of the biggest things that I still use to like find new music is like sometimes just watching shows. Like I'm watching Girls right now, and dude, like if talk about a nostalgia hit, dude. The first few seasons, I never watched Girls, and the first few seasons of Girls is like from 2012 to 2015. And 2012 was like when I moved to Wilmington, moved out of Denton, and the fashion, oh my God, dude, the fashion and like the phones, like everyone's using like iPhone 3s and iPhone 4s. It'll show like the screen of them and everything's all bubbly, like the bubble icons and everything. The music is, oh my God, it's like the music is like Passion Pit and Matt and Kim and stuff like that on there. Like it's such a hit. But I say that because like every now and then I'll be watching that show and a song will come up and I'm like, God damn, what is that? And I'll go to Spotify and that'll kind of send me down the rabbit hole. I think that like shows can be utilized as a pretty good tool to find something that you've never heard of. Because a lot of times, so those people who make the soundtracks for shows, that's their literal only job.
Yeah.
And so what happens a lot of times is like they'll go to like choose a song and they're like, this is what I want. Or like this is the director will be like, this is what I want for this scene. And they're like, really good song, but our production company does not own rights to that song because that's a Universal label and we're Warner Brothers. So then they have to cross-reference all of these other bands in this library to try to find something that like fits a similar tone and a similar vibe to make that happen. And sometimes it's a way like lesser known band.
Yeah.
Which can like totally propel like someone. I mean, think of like what, like, and this is an absurd example because it went so mainstream and was huge. But think about chasing cars in Grey's Anatomy. Do you remember that?
No.
Holy fucking shit! Like anybody,
I didn't watch Grey's.
I didn't watch Grey's either, but I know the significance of that song in that series because like it propelled chasing cars and was it Snow Patrol? Like no one knows who knew what fucking Snow Patrol was until Grey's Anatomy, and then it was everywhere.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that stuff happens for sure. Yeah.
But it has the power to do that, which is really, really cool.
Not only that, but I feel like that would be so fun because I love whenever I listen to music. There are songs that I'll be like, I can see
whole scene.
I can see the
scene.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can visualize the cinematics to this, and I feel like that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Kind of pairing songs up with as a job, if that was your job.
One of the girls that I went to film school with, actually, that's what she does out in LA now.
That's awesome.
Like, yeah, I was like, that's actually really fucking cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to switch gears, switch themes, because that it breeds a new topic of the kind of discovery, the fandom, how that incorporates into like today versus back then. And big part is anime, like the streaming services and stuff. And we were talking about it the other day. I think you were part of that conversation too. We were talking about how we discovered anime, how we watched anime, because it was totally different in the 90s.
Totally different.
Today, people that you would never expect to watch anime are perfectly vocal with watching anime,
Yeah.
And there's anime everywhere. Me and you were talking about it yesterday, about the difficulty and the challenge of watching anime or finding good anime because there are 6 different streaming services. They each have exclusive rights to different anime, and you have to kind of find which one has the one you want to watch, things like that. So that's different. Not to mention you have the website I use, my anime list, which is it catalogs every season's anime, so you can figure out everything that's coming out, everything that is out, and everything that's been out. But dude, it was totally different growing up. It
was way different.
Yeah.
You were a weirdo. You were a fucking weirdo as a white kid in North America. Like, well, I mean, I guess America specifically for me, but it was probably the same in Canada and like Mexico and North America in general. But you were a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Like when you were like 15 and still watching
cartoons, dude.
Dog triggered.
Yeah, that's what my stepdad used to say, and it would piss me off.
Yeah, man. It was a whole different thing. I mean, especially that time too, because like you're in high school and kids are cruel as fuck in high school. I will say that I had a level of not give a fuck where it was like, I don't care with whether you think it's cool or not. But I also had this, like, I didn't talk about it. Like, I talked about it with my friends that did watch anime, but I wasn't like now where I've got a fucking anime tattoo, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't that level of comfortable with myself, and it was just a different culture. Like, I remember this one kid, Alex. I'm not going to say his last name, but this kid, Alex, got super, like, just ripped apart because he was like talking about Naruto. This would have been when I was like, I don't know, like 9th grade maybe. So however old I would have been there, back in like 2005, I want to say is when it was. And I remember, dude, kid just got lit the fuck up for like talking about Naruto, and I was like, oh fuck, well, that's wild. Where now it's like it's like a status of like clout to say like, oh, I'm hip, I too watch the anime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would even go as far as to say it might even be reversed now, to where like people make fun of people for like not watching, like being weird about animes. Like, you don't watch anime? Like you haven't watched Attack on Titan?
Like you've never watched a single anime? Like not one? Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird, dude. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about too, like how we got it, because you had like some cool stuff, because you were saying that like you guys or someone used to like stay up and record it for you on VHS.
No. So what we would do, me and my brother, we discovered it by staying up late on the weekends, and realizing that, because I didn't have cable TV or anything until we moved to the East Coast, right? When my mom got remarried, we moved to the East Coast and they got cable TV. And I was 11. So before that, I didn't know of anything, But when I was 11, I made a friend who he introduced me to like Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then, I'd been watching Pokemon on WB, whatever.
Yeah.
Digimon, all that stuff. So I guess that was an introduction,
Yeah.
But we didn't know that was Japanese, Anyways, we discovered that like Adult Swim came on at night, and after a certain hour would start playing anime, and that's when you got all that good stuff. Wolf's Rain, Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, the classics. Yeah. So what we would do is our bedroom TV had the VHS player hooked up to it. It was like the single unit, TV VHS, and we had if you got the blanks like for family recordings and stuff. We would put it in the VHS at, like let's say our bedtime was 9. I would hit like right before bed, I would hit record and leave the TV on, but you could dim the light on the TV screen. So it would look like it was off, but it would be recording, and it would just record that channel all night long onto that VHS tape. And then when we got home from school, we'd spend, I think it would take 15 minutes or something to rewind the entire VHS tape. Maybe not that long, but to rewind it. And then we would get to watch anime. Yeah. And that's what we did. Yeah. I think it was, I don't know if it was every night or if it was on Fridays or something.
Fridays or Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause that's when like the midnight run and stuff was. So that was on like Saturday, which was like, that was like the big block of like your what was it? Big O. You have like Lupin the Third, and you had like Yu Yu Hakusho and Inuyasha and Rurouni Kenshin and all that, like the big ones.
Right.
That's when like that was a magical time,
dude. When I tell you I miss it, man. I miss it. I remember.
You remember the first time you saw it? Like, do you remember like when you stumbled upon like Late Night Toonami?
It was a slow slope. It was like, so I don't remember like a specific thing because it was like watching Digimon and then watching Dragon Ball Z all of a sudden, and then you're watching like you slowly see more like, started watching Trigun with it, Yu Yu Hakusho with it, and then we discovered like Wolf's Rain was like the first big one. And I remember the CD store.
God, Wolf's Rain is so good.
So good. I remember the CD store in town had the Wolf's Rain.
Like a cutout?
No, it had the soundtrack.
Oh, whoa.
I found it at a CD store.
That's rad.
Yeah, and I think someone bought it for me. Maybe my grandma or something bought it for me. And dude, I miss it so hard. I miss me and my brother would put on that soundtrack and play Yu-Gi-Oh, have Yu-Gi-Oh matches on the carpet.
That's cool.
Oh, that feeling, just complete peace, bro. Just complete peace.
Totally.
Just the Wolf's Rain where the wolf's running in the wind. Da, 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 da. And me and him having Yu-Gi-Oh battles. Just absolute peace, man. It doesn't get like that. And then we would, or we would just put on, because we would have that VHS tape recorded for a week, whatever. Just pop that in, let it play in the background,
Yeah. Yeah.
So good. I was saying the other day, I miss like Nickelodeon commercials.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why, but I miss the commercials. Ads today are so bad. So bad. And I miss Nickelodeon commercials where it was like a couple toys, some food, some ads for some shows coming on later in the week or something.
Yeah. I told you about Toonami Aftermath, right? Were you there when we like went into that?
Yeah. It was just it was different from, because I didn't watch those
those exact shows.
Yeah. And so those commercials didn't quite hit as hard,
Yeah. So like it hits differently depending on what show you're in, especially with the bumpers that they do.
Yeah.
Because it'll give like the old bumpers of like if Dragon Ball Z, for example, is getting ready to come up, it'll give you like that old Toonami bumper right before Dragon Ball Z comes on. Same with like Zoids or Dragon Ball or Gundam or whatever. It'll give you those, but like the thing that's like arguably even better is this part of your brain that unlocks when it flips to like 2 minutes worth of commercials, but all of the commercials are from the late 90s and early 2000s that they used in Toonami, like old Burger King commercials or old like Sunny D commercials or Capri Sun or whatever it is. And you're like, things that they're locked in your brain that you've not thought of in years, but that you used to see every fucking day for months at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those, like that was the Sunny D commercial of the summer of 99. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like you see it right before the bumper of one of those shows. Dude, it is.
Yeah. It's like a wave.
It's like a tsunami over you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not an endorsement for Toonami Aftermath, but anybody that wants to like get hit with a beautiful wave of nostalgia, just go to ToonamiAftermath.com. It's so sick.
I've gone to YouTube videos before. There's some YouTube videos where it's like it looks like an old 90s bedroom with like a
oh yeah, like an old tube TV.
Yeah, and then it'll be playing like it'll be like an hour of Nickelodeon ads or something like that, and I've watched those before, and those are pretty chill.
So on that, like tiny step segue, because we're talking about digital media and everything, and how like you don't really own anything anymore with every subscription that you have. Physical media is like making a comeback right now, right? Specifically, I think that I'm seeing is people with that that nostalgia bone for like tube TVs and like the VHS thing that we're talking about.
Yeah,
dude, I'm starting to see like tube TVs like go for sale on Marketplace right now, and I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, like prices are going up.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok the other day of a guy driving by someone's house, and they had a tube TV in their yard.
Yeah.
And he like, it was apparently this huge find. They're like going for like $1,200 now or something.
Oh my god.
And he got it for free.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know if it was like a Panasonic. I don't remember the TV names or whatever, but apparently it was like one of the most elite ones. And he was like, dude, this is going into my game room with my Nintendo 64 and all of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of want that.
Dude.
I kind of want to get into that.
Again, that's something that I just had a conversation with her the other day. I am like thankful that my mom is a hoarder because she still has all of our fucking TVs from when I was younger. Like I remember I had like the little 12 or 13 inch, I think it was an Emerson, maybe it was a black Emerson. I want to say it was Emerson, little 12-inch tube TV VHS combo. That was like the one that we had in me and my brother's room when we shared a room. And then when he kept it when we divided rooms, and when he left, I like inherited that TV, you know, in that room. And then a couple Christmases later, I got like a bigger TV that, you know, maybe 24 inches, an old tube TV. But my mom still has that. And like it doesn't matter anymore because I have a replacement for it, thank God. But I still have my same DVD player VHS combo that I had the whole time we lived together. The front plate of the VHS was torn off. Like it was, you could just see into it because it was gone, but it still played and it still worked. And then eventually on like when we moved into this house, we were getting rid of a bunch of stuff. And I was like, man, it's kind of broken. I've not used it in years. I let it go. And then as sure as shit, I started finding all this really cool shit at Value Village where people were just throwing away their grandkids and kids' childhood, you know. I mean, it's like I've got like X-Men, Batman Beyond, like a bunch of Highlander season whatever the fuck VHSs, and I was like, oh my god. So I had to get a replacement for that.
I need to start looking in those again.
Yeah, it's because it's cool, man. Because here's the other thing too, it's not just VHSs and it's not just, you know, movies, it's video games too. Like we were talking, like there's a reason that like it's cool that like Switch, you know, is doing a bunch of these backwards compatible games now, or like re-releases on the Switch. But it feels good, but it doesn't quite feel the same, you know?
Yeah.
As like playing something on an N64 because you're playing an N64 game on a LCD Ultra HD television where your ratio is so stretched and everything that you're like, God, did it look this bad? Like, have graphics really came this far? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
It didn't look that bad because the way that the interlacing frames work on a tube TV are completely different from how they work on an HD TV.
Right.
So because of that, it has to stretch the image in order to make the aspect ratio fit, right? So when you go back and play an actual N64 game or PS2 game or whatever the fuck it is before HDMI in a tube TV, brother, that shit is magic. It is so good. It's so good. So, and because of that, this whole like new physical media thing and like owning something again, it's like totally coming back.
Yeah. That's why I like going to Half Price Books every time I visit Atlanta now. Like, especially, you know, I did it when I was there, but now it's like, it's a must visit whenever I visit, you know, it's because.
Yeah. You have to be careful in that store because you can find some gems, but they also they're proud of some of the stuff they got.
Oh, yeah.
And you can spend some money in there unintentionally.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough, though. That's like one of the best places to find that kind of stuff, though.
Yeah. I remember the last time I found something that I was like super stoked on there was the Zoids New Century Zero, one of the New Century Zero DVDs there, which every time I go into a used DVD or like used media store, that's what I look for. I immediately go to the anime section and go to the Z to see, because like hopefully I'll find it. That's like my my holy grail of a series that I want, because I own it in Blu-ray. But I own Chaotic Century and New Century Zero on Blu-ray. I bought it during COVID, but it's not the same. Like it's the North American dub, so the English dub, but the intro isn't the North American intro. It's the Japanese intro, which is like not what I grew up on, so it's not what hits for me. Which, if you ever watch Zoids, that fucking intro, dog, for the NA intro, God, it gets you going.
Yeah,
like every time. So
that's like when we went to Japan and we went to the book offs and stuff. That's why I didn't buy much, because it's like it's not translated.
Well, and I translated it. I found that out the hard way.
Yeah.
I got some, was it Queensblade shit
Queensblade,
while I
yeah.
was there. I was like, I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
I don't want to like make it a sad thing, but it is kind of sad. This current state of these feels it like you're talking about, like we don't own anything. I didn't think about it like that, and it's kind of sad that like I don't have anything tangible. I mean, I do, because I collect, and you collect, but it's still not quite, not quite.
There's lack of completion, like if I can think about like things that I own to completion, it's very little. Like, I don't know. I feel like I pick up things here and there.
Right.
But entire like series of shows, or like book series, for example. Even though I've got a shit ton of books, I don't know. It's all like random in a way.
Yeah. Well, it's because we have to find it.
Yeah.
Like you could, if you really wanted to dish out the money, buy like a whole collection or whatever, but you're talking hundreds of dollars.
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like my Haikyuu collection. Like I want the whole series, but I've only bought those like a couple books at a time,
Right.
But, I mean, it's part of it, it's part of it, especially because we have like our hands in multiple pots, so to speak. So that's going to make everything even more challenging when it's like, I want this, but I also want that, but I also want that. So that's also tough. But I didn't think about like the music thing where like you don't buy CDs, you don't buy songs. I do buy songs on Fortnite. So maybe I own some stuff on Fortnite. I have like a small playlist, because they add like Japanese artists every now and then, and I have like all my skins are anime skins, and all my gear, my glider, my pickaxe and stuff is all anime related, and my music is all songs from Japanese artists that are from anime. So like I have the intro from Beastars by Yasobi, and stuff like that. So I've bought a few songs on there, but that's a lot. That's it. And I don't like that. I never didn't think about that, but I don't like that.
Yeah. Sorry to bum you out.
Yeah. Yeah. I have I don't know where it's at, but I do have that CD that I bought at Anime Week in Atlanta for I can't even remember the band now that does the intro for My Hero Academia. And that was the first CD I had bought. That's the first CD I had bought since I was in high school, basically.
Yeah. I went through a CD buying phase. I'm not gonna lie. Back in like, I mean, I guess it was around like 2012. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was like 2011, 2012. Because and I'll tell you who it was. It was two artists that I found that I still love to this day, and that was Foster the People and Lana Del Rey. When Lana came out with Born to Die, I was like, I need that now. That album is fucking amazing. So I got that, and I got Foster the People's Torches, the same day, and we went over to FYE.
Mm.
I don't even know if FYE still exists anymore. We went over to the mall, went to FYE. We got both of them, and both those albums became like two of my like trip albums. You know, like whenever I would be driving from Winston to Wilmington for work and school, it was like a 3.5 hour trip. I just put both of those albums on like back to back. Like I'd listen to Born to Die over, and then boom, and then flip over to Torches. Or the other one was Passion Pit, Secrets. Is that the name of it? That, and then I bought the like couple of Matt and Kim records, and then what was that Icelandic band, Monsters and Men, and I got the Lumineers' first album. Like I went through a couple of them where I was just like buying albums, like buy the Naked and Famous. I was just like buying records again just to buy. I bought Lungs from Florence. Like there was a small window where I was like buying records again, and it felt really, really cool. Buying CDs, I should say. Again.
Yeah.
And it was fun because then by that time I like learned like the rip trick. So it was like you take them and then, you know, you bought the CD and then you just ripped them off of the CD and then you also had them on your iPod. So it was like, you know.
So this is a slightly off topic, but same. I remember, you just made me remember something that I discovered when I was a kid. I don't know if you ever discovered this. So when I was a little kid and I had my, you know, handheld CD player, I discovered that some of my PlayStation games, you could put them in your CD player and listen to the music from the game. Oh, did you ever do that?
No.
So I remember one that worked for me that I listened to, which the music wasn't good. So I was just a kid, just, you know, I don't know. I was weird. But I forget the name of it. I don't know if it wasn't Boom Beach, but it was something like that where it was a little clown boy and you would like be in a map and there was bombs and you had to push these bombs around this beach or the map to blow up other bombs so that you could get out. It was like you had to make your own path. And it played like, you know, music in the background. But yeah. I remember one day, I don't know why I did it, just exploring. I put it in my CD player and it played the music from the game. And you could skip and like go to the next level. I don't know if it was like playing the level of the game and I could just hear the music.
Weird. But I never tried that.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to do the opposite where you take because you could put CDs in a PS1.
Yeah.
I used to do
and
that.
And it would do
the wave thing. Yeah. I used to do that.
Yeah.
But it never even crossed my mind to try the opposite. That's funny.
I remember I had, when I was really into playing guitar, I had my guitar amp and I would take my
Put it on your pickup.
Huh?
Put it on your pickup. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
I would plug. I had the cord, and I had some adapters. I don't know where I got them from, and I would put it so I could plug it into my Zune.
And you put it in your
and I put it in my amp. And, play it. And I remember, it was Bayside, Devotion and Desire, I think it is, where there's a guitar solo, but the amp or my Zune to the amp wasn't playing like the
stereo of it.
Yeah. And it was like kind of muted. You could kind of hear it in the background and you could hear the people in the studio talking like during the solo, like during the recording.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So like it was like playing and like you can hear.
Are you sure it was doing that or was it picking up radio frequency? Because when you do that,
I mean, it's hard to say.
Yeah, amps can pick up radio frequency. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I would do something similar, not plug it in directly through the aux input, but I would take like a speaker and like put on my pickup on my guitar, and like you can play music through the pickup going through this.
System. Yeah, I did that. Yeah,
I would do that just to fuck around with it. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I still collect. Like I like to buy Blu-ray. I don't. I've always been CDs. I'm afraid to buy because the discs get scratched. I feel like.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure Blu-rays could do the same, but I don't know.
Supposedly, Blu-rays were like that was the whole point of like Blu-rays, right? It's because they were like super scratch resistant.
I honestly, I've to this day never understood what the difference between a DVD and a Blu-ray was. Besides the fact that Blu-ray was supposed to be an upgrade.
It's an HD upgrade or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that was like the thing was like Blu-rays supposedly were way harder to scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they were harder to scratch, but that they could still play even though they were scratched.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a few DVD like anime that I've bought, but I usually try to buy the Blu-ray editions and stuff.
Yeah.
And CDs, I don't really buy CDs. Although I feel like maybe I should try to start if I can find stuff that I like. I just don't want to have a huge. I don't want to get the old CD tower.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's when we do physical like media and music nowadays. We usually just do vinyl. Shelby got like a nice vinyl player for Christmas with like a system, and then we got like a little table shelf system to go with it, as opposed to our old one, which was just like a wire shelf system, which worked fine, but there was such little storage for it that we had like another vinyl box, and it was just like a whole thing.
Right.
Now it's more contained and it looks better, and this like the quality of the actual, like you hear it, like hearing it through the system we have now, it's like, oh, now I really get what people were talking about of like vinyl is superior. You know what I mean? Like you can hear how the record was meant to be heard. I feel like, but that's what we usually do as if we're buying physical music now. But yeah, I'm also like, I am collecting like not VHS, just cassettes, like because I'm gonna be starting a restoration project pretty soon on our like family Z that we had growing up, and I want to keep it as original as possible. And I got one that we were in when we were in Kyoto. I think we were in Kyoto when I got it. That little cassette player, or the little cassette tape of like the lo-fi beat thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thought you got one too, but maybe you didn't.
I was trying to be picky on how much I spent.
Yeah.
I should have though. It was a cool place. That's the place I got the stickers from.
Yeah. So I have that, and then I've gotten a couple different cassette tapes just for that car when I get it going again. Because
get ready.
Because that's like nostalgia, like overload, dude.
Get ready for that player to grab that tape. And you're like, go take it out. You're like, no. You're like, take a pencil, try to push it down. Take get your finger in there to unclip the tape without it cutting.
Oh God, don't say that. But
then you gotta take your pencil and put it in the tape. I'm sure there's like, if there's any new gens watching this podcast, they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Of like putting your pencil in there to like rewind the fucking.
Yeah. They're like, what is he? What is it doing with a pencil? I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like the hope is to, because like this everything about that car, like the smell of it, the smell of the leather and like the exhaust and like the shitty vinyl that's on the dash, like it's like a whatever vinyl composite they used, it's like a very distinct smell, and it still smells like that, and like you sit down in it and it's just like, oh my God. It's like time traveling, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah,
nostalgia can be weaponized.
Yeah, there was a line, and it was in an anime, and I don't remember which anime it was. Something I watched recently, and the character was talking about how love is nostalgia and love are the same thing.
Mm.
Because it's both about a desire for something that you can't control.
This sounds familiar.
Or something like that. And I can't remember where that's from. It's something I saw very recently, like last week or the week before. So something new. But I don't remember what it was. But it's true, man. There's a lot of like nostalgia, I feel like pulls at that same string where it's just like you'll never get it. You'll never have, like, you don't own it, you know? That time doesn't belong to you.
No.
You can only think about it.
You can think about it, and then also like your memory is also distorted, right? So like
sure.
what you're remembering probably isn't quite how it was, but it's how it was to you.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's almost sweeter that way, I guess. But yeah, you're never going to own that again. Like you'll never be able to experience that time again. So like
I always
when something hits and like you'll have that smell, you know, or like you'll have that fucking anime moment where you touch something and you're just like, zoom, and it's just back. Woo, man.
Yeah. It's a good feeling. And you try to hold on to it as long as possible.
Yeah, that's why I just keep ripping packs, you know? Just want to smell it again. I was like, oh, the smell's gone. I can all right, rip another one. Oh, yeah, there it is.
That's what I say about, because for me it was Yu-Gi-Oh cards that had the best smell. And I have my box of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but the smell's gone, man. Yeah. So I try to I put my face in the box and it's just, I don't smell anything. I'm like, oh, yeah, that sucks, man. They had that smell. I remember that guy, a guy my sister was dating, gave me his old Pokemon cards for my birthday as a gift. And they had been in a Ziploc bag. So when I opened it, I was like, oh, that's that fresh. That's that good. Oh, yeah. It was like, open a Ziploc bag. Oh, yeah. I'm going to enjoy this later.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's nice time traveling a little bit.
Yeah, and it's just, I'm curious on what happens next, you know, because the time between, like, I think, you know, I feel like I've talked to you about it, but I'm not sure. I listened to this therapist talk about why people our age are struggling with certain things that we struggle with that, you know, is different, whether it be like, you know, this sense of like purposelessness, you know, or whatever, sense of like not knowing what to do with yourself, you know. And they talked about how our generation, the millennials, have experienced probably the most, like, what's the word, not propelled, but like intense, what's the word for like, not like for like jet engines that like
propulsion,
kind of, but you know, it's just like from 90s 2000s and to now, we have experienced so much crazy dramatic evolution of technology, that it's like we've had to reset, right? When we were in the 90s, and we were like, you know, what do you do with your life? How do you navigate? It's, you know, you go to school, go to college, you know, do this, blah, 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 you know? And he's like, I want to be this. And then we got to the mid 90s and internet became like completely public, you know? The first home computer started to come out in like 92, 93, 94. And then even more so moving on. So then it's like, okay, computers, right? That's the next thing. We'll do computer programming, whatever. And then you got like cell phones and laptops and everything. And then everything just shifts again. And then you like, and then digital and everything shifts again, you know? And we had to do that multiple times. That by the time we got to college, it was completely different than how we navigated before, you know? And it's just crazy to see how much has changed in just 30 years. And I don't know how to see what happens next, you know, with everything going digital. I don't see a path. I don't see the path ahead, you know, as far as like development or inventions or technology or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think we're at the peak, but
No, I don't
I'm
think we're at the
curious.
peak yet.
I mean, AI, I'm sure, has a much larger role in the future. But yeah, like what's the next platform for music? What's the next platform for movies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to get Neuralinks, bro. I'm ready for Sword Art Online, all right? Put me in there. Link start.
Put me in, coach. Link start.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the time where we got the chips in our brain and we plug in and then we're watching the movie from a first person perspective. We're running with the army. Ah! I'm ready.
I'm good. I'm okay.
We're like in the Marvel universe and we're like having to dodge like rocks and stuff that like the monsters are like
You can like
smashing
smell
buildings.
how bad the Shikari are, like how bad the aliens smell. You're like, fuck, what is that?
I feel like you and I had a discussion years ago. Oops, I hit my mic. Years ago about, I think we were talking about Star Wars, and I made the same comment where, you know, I wonder if the sci-fi futuristic movies of the 90s influenced the development of that technology today, right? So like, let's say Bicentennial Man, super ahead of his time as far as like understanding like AI and stuff like that. And then you have the movie AI with the
Haley
Sixth
Joel.
Sense kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which that movie is horrifying. Horrifying. It was a horror movie to me.
It's like the kid struggling with his own ideas of being sentient, right?
Right.
And like if he's even real.
Yeah. There's that scene where he tries to eat spinach.
Yeah.
And his like face starts to melt. No. And then there's a scene where like he goes, like he gets put into like robot fighting and this like weird underground robot fighting thing. And they're like killing each other and stuff. And then he like survives for thousands of years by himself. Holy hell, dude. No. I did not like them. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is Back to the Future with hoverboards, flying cars, all these things. I wonder is if like where we're at in society as far as technology goes is only because of movies and stuff from before, you know? Star Wars comes out with a lightsaber and everyone's like, yo, I want a lightsaber. People start trying to make a lightsaber a real thing. Who knows, in a few hundred years, we got lightsabers. Only because, you know, someone thought it'd be cool.
Kooky George was like, let's make a laser sword.
Yeah. And so like the thing with like flying cars, right? Everyone's like, flying cars are going to be in the future. Well, what if no one made this idea of like flying cars in the future in TV, in, you know, like TV and movies? Mm-hmm. If anyone would even think about, like, we got planes, we got cars. We don't need flying cars, you know?
Yeah.
So I wonder
how much it influences actual propulsion of technology.
Right. Yeah. Like the AI thing, right? Like, and you could say that people anticipate where technology can go. And so they anticipate that AI will be a bigger thing. You'll get robots, sentient AI robots, things like that. So you'll get things like Bicentennial Man and Her and things like that, you know? So maybe they saw it, they could see it coming with their knowledge of how technology develops. But it is curious. I don't know if it's like a symbiotic relationship or, you know, if it's just unrelated. But I think about that. Yeah.
I'm sure it definitely influences it to somewhat.
Yeah.
For some
That's the thing is, yeah, because it's like if movies never portrayed the romantic idea of a computer getting sentience and becoming so intelligent that it develops human emotion and has human relationships, you know, would humans ever really try to push that with technology? Or is it because they had this romantic idea of what technology could evolve into from TV and movies?
Yeah.
Because humans romanticize things.
Sure.
You know? I don't know.
I don't know.
And now, where do we go from here? You know? it feels like we're not doing as much today with that type of thing. I don't feel like where we are in technology today, I don't feel like humans are romanticizing the future as much. Do you feel that same way?
I don't know. That might be our point of view because we're so stressed out about the present.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know if we're the right people to ask. I think society worries about the future, or I think that they think about the future.
Yeah, but do they romanticize what the future looks like? Because it feels like TVs and movies are just recreating the past at this point.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
what it feels like. It feels like the focus is on the past right now.
Mm.
And I could be wrong, but like, you know, when we were kids, Star Wars was being invented. This thing about the future, the Back to the Future about the future, Blade Runner about the future.
Yeah, you
All
had all
these
the cyberpunk things that were coming out with crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and now movies like I don't see any. I can't think of anything that's like pushing the limits on what could be possible. I see everything being remade or period pieces or nostalgia pieces about the past.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I'm wrong.
I mean, there are definitely
There's probably some.
Yeah, there are some, but I know what you're saying, like the push.
Yeah.
I think, but you got to think too. In the 80s and 90s, when all that stuff was really being pushed, we were coming on, like we were approaching the millennium, right? Mm-hmm. Which was huge. Like everyone everyone was like, oh my God, like this is game change. Like the 2000s are going to be so much more advanced than the 1900s like could have ever dreamed of, right? So they were pushing these crazy ideas of the Blade Runner, of like the Ghost in the Shell and all that stuff. You know, where it was so like almost otherworldly, you know, the type of technology they were using, because the fact that we were living in a new century was just it seemed to their brains, it seemed so crazy. You know, the number changed from a 1 to a 2. Fuck, right. It's gonna be crazy. And what we're left with though is like the day-to-day advancement of that. And so it's not as crazy as like everyone thought. So maybe because we've had like 30 plus years of that realization, maybe somehow it's like trickling in not reverse, but like the expectation of what the future is like kind of leveling out. We're like, oh, it's actually going to take a lot more progression to get to these like flying cars or to these like what we think artificial intelligence is going to be like. It's maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because nothing's new. You know, when we were in the 90s, things were new. Internet was new. New, you know. Bluetooth was new. Like
think about Power Rangers. Think about the novel idea of using your watch to communicate with each other. Yeah. Think about how crazy that idea was. Everyone wanted a fucking communicator. Everyone's fucking got one.
Yeah.
I even think that Apple Watch used that when they initially launched the Apple Watch. They used like it was like that and like the Kim Possible ringtone and like the Power Rangers thing. That was like in their ad was like the future is now. Like what you thought you could do, it's now. You know, and but it's not as like crazy of an idea as we once thought it was.
Right.
So I don't know if that's happened. Like that's part of it.
Well, if we think about what's new right now, like AI is probably the newest thing that's making the biggest impact on technology. But I just don't see people romanticizing the future of AI like they did when, like, you know, other technologies came out in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, again, I think it might be because of like what it is capable of right now at the moment is being weighed with like the implications that it could have in the future for us. And so what it is capable of right now doesn't outweigh that. And
Yeah.
so people are having this like knee-jerk reaction to it, to where like all around, like especially with VR, it's like we talked about before, like it's this very hot button issue.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like maybe that has something to do with it, about like not I don't want to say an agenda, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think we're just, I think it's the same thing that you were talking earlier about we don't own anything, is the same sense as we don't control anything. So I feel like back then, everyone wanted to get their hands on the control of where something went, because they wanted to help. Everyone wanted to be part of pushing the future into existence, kind of thing, like flying cars, whatever, the technologies, touch screens, cell phones on your wrist, things, all that stuff. Everyone wanted to make it happen. But right now I feel like we're in a state where everyone knows that they have no influence.
Yeah.
It's like the common man has realized that they have no power. At least that's what it feels like.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the simulation is just finally cracking.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see the seams start to come undone.
I saw a thing the other day. I posted it. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find this. Anyway, it was like a picture of like Trinity in the Matrix in the phone booth, and like it's like it was like, so you're into conspiracy theories. It's like me. And it goes, yeah. So I don't know if you've noticed, but since the movie The Matrix came out in 1999, phone companies have completely switched over to digital and cell phones, and have been replacing phone booths and landlines since it came out, i.e. replacing our only way to get out of the Matrix. It's
true.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe the sim is needs a reboot or something. I don't know. People probably think we're high right now talking about this.
No.
You don't think so?
Maybe.
Yeah. We're not, by the way. I'm totally fucking sober.
I just have a very
inquisitive, imaginative mind.
Yeah. I've always said that I have like stoner brain, but I'm not a stoner.
Yeah.
I also have like a stoner. I get stoner cravings. I could eat like a burrito filled with mac and cheese and all that stuff. I could do like a pizza covered in lasagna. I don't know.
Soft pizza?
Huh? I could do you crazy food like that. That stoner stuff. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for listening. That's going to be another episode of the Born2BNerd podcast in the bag. Lance, where can people find you?
All Born2BNerd links is where I typically focus. Twitch, Born2BNerd_live, YouTube, Born2BNerd, Instagram, Born2BNerd, I think, also.
Yeah. I
don't get on Instagram much, but it's on there.
Yeah. In the link tree below. Yeah. If you want to see some moto vlog content, you can check out my channel, Throttle Fox Moto Photo. That'd be pretty rad if you want to like and subscribe to that. Otherwise, we will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.